Alright guys, so today we're going to be discussing the original Presa Canario versus the current Presa Canario. Now if you look at the video to the left, you got the original version, the 80s, early 90s, and then to the right you've got the current version. Now it's obvious that both, look at them. The one to the left is pretty much like double the size, some would even say triple. Bone density, way more, just the overall bigger, massive dog. Now the one to the right, this is the current Presas that we're seeing here, and there's nothing wrong with them if you like a smaller dog. For some people, depending on where they live, a smaller dog just works better, because it's easier to handle. That's just how it goes. Some people feel that a smaller dog has a lot more endurance, and some people just feel that it's just going to be easier to control. Now, the one to the left is the original version, the old school stuff, that big, scary monster type shit, the nightmare type stuff. And, personally, I like that. Now, it's very obvious the two dogs don't even almost look like the same breed. One looks like a miniature version of the dog to the left. And, it's a lot of people have that misconception that the big dogs are slow or they're not agile, and they're not going to want to work and all that kind of good stuff. If they're over a certain weight, they're not going to want to work. But clearly you can see in these videos, the dog to the left is extremely agile, like extremely. Look at the way he pulls when he goes. That's some monster shit right there. Now, personally, I would really like to see that old school version come back. You'll very rarely ever find it because it's pretty much been bred out. It's like almost non-existent. So, if something happens where people start bringing that old school version back, if there's some old bloodlines that still have that monster, type of Presa Canario out there, I hope they start breeding those dogs and bringing them back, because I think that's like the true definition of a Presa Canario. If you're one of those people that cannot handle that big monster shit, get a different breed. Don't ruin one by breeding dogs that are not, the correct type. Now, I know the AKC, UKC, all that kind of good stuff, they changed their standards. The standards are different now than what they used to be. FCI, all of them. And because of that, the dogs have changed, if you see a 180, 200 pound, 160 pound Presa Canario walking around, most people might think it's mixed, when the truth is most likely it's not mixed, and it really depends on what version you have. Now, if you prefer a smaller dog, that's okay, but the big ones, I've seen some big monster Presa Canarios that perform like a 70 pound pit bull, just ridiculous. And so I do understand, one of the main reasons why I think they don't produce dogs that big is because, a lot of people that buy them may not be able to handle them. Another reason is they may not have the space for them, So whatever works for you, but you do not want to ruin a breed, guys. Now, the dogs to the right, I'm not saying they ruined the breed. They're just smaller versions. I just wanted to point out the difference between the two types. And of course, there's different variations of Presa. That's how you're going to get like different looks of them and all that kind of good stuff. But that old school monster Juan Carlos stuff, that's the stuff, guys. Anyways, let me know what you think.